This is Chris Gaudreau with another podcast video for art history class at Full Sail University, where I'm attending online to earn my bachelor's degree of science in internet marketing. Here we are at the Second Life world created by students at Vassar College. Here they've built a virtual replication of the Sistine Chapel to scale for us to explore, without the expense of travel and without the crowds. Here we are outside the building. Let's take a look around. Michelangelo is known for the ceiling in here, but several other commissioned artists have applied frescoes to these walls. Raphael's work here in this model can either be hidden from view or unveiled using a control located at the back left wall. The curtains and draperies are all fresco paintings, perhaps the father of Trompe l'oeil. And here's the control. Let's unveil those paintings. And now the paintings are hidden again. There they are, Raphael's paintings. This virtual world gives us a few advantages. Visitors to the real Sistine Chapel in Rome would not be able to fly up close for a better look, but we can. Let's start at the beginning with Michelangelo's interpretation of the creation of the world from the book of Genesis. Now we're here. There's the ceiling. Let's just take a quick look around from this view. There's the center of the ceiling. And there's where we'll start at the beginning. We start at the separation of light from darkness. This is one of the smaller frescoes here, but the visual that was created is boundlessly expressive. Take a look where we are in the bigger picture and back up to the ceiling. So that's the first painting, and I'll get adjusted to the second one in view. I have what's called the creation of the sun and plants, and I was going to say perhaps the moon, maybe a moon there to the left, maybe that's where we get that from. We start to see that this series of paintings is chronological and they still tell a story together. Next we have God divides the water from the earth. Another view where we are in the middle of the room here, or almost to the middle of the room. There's the middle of the room. Let me just adjust. We have the creation of Adam, symbolizing the creation of all mankind. This painting is at the heart and center of the room by no accident. All art done at this time of the High Renaissance was well planned, orchestrated with symbolism and meaning in every stroke. The shape of the paintings, the gestures, the faces, the placement of figures and objects all had a purpose. Like I said, this one's in the middle of the room. Creation of man, creation of Adam. Speaking of plan and purpose, God creates Eve in the next fresco. Sort of an addition to the creation of man. And then another large panel in the story. See, story of Adam's and Eve's temptation and expulsion from the Garden of Eden. We see the serpent is like a man, and we also see an angel holding a sword to Adam's neck. The next few paintings are a separate group that don't seem to be in any chronological order. This first one we come to is Noah and his family making a sacrifice to God after the flood. This next image I'm get centered on is of the flood itself. We can see Noah's family entering into the ark, and of course that's there in the background in the water, and we see the rest of the population interested in doing other things. And final painting on that series. Painting is after the flood and after the first family image we saw of a devoted family serving God. This image depicts a drunken and naked Noah being covered up by his family. It's a sad ending, really. Can't get any closer than that because I'm up against the wall. Michelangelo came back to the chapel to paint the Last Judgment, as we see there on the back wall. It's fitting that this is the imagery plastered behind the preacher's head, where the congregation would be gazing while thinking on the Word of God, obedience, and life and death. Just have a look around at the rest of the paintings, kind of put it all in more perspective. We have the ancestors of Christ being painted in those arch shapes there. Below that, next to all the windows, we have the popes that had been around at that time. And of course, below all those things on the walls, we have just various biblical scenes from the life of Moses and the life of Jesus. And of course, the painted drapery with gold and silver and papal crests. At the top, we have some of the biblical narratives from the rest of the stories of the Bible. Okay, the largest painting in the room, the Last Judgment. Christ here at the center. Some graphic depictions of death and torture. Some people just not having a very good time here. Somebody's skin being held up there. Okay, there is much more to say about all of this great work, about Michelangelo and his story about, um, no, well, his story about Raphael and about other artists commissioned here over the years, the controversy about the restoration of these paintings, and much more. Unfortunately, this video can't go on that long, and you're probably getting dizzy and disoriented from my lack of control in flying around this model. So, I hope you enjoyed this tour. Thank you for watching this educational podcast video.